Hello, beloved people of God. This is Pastor Adam with your June Pastor's Report that I'm recording from my own home on a Wednesday afternoon instead of the normal Sunday after church. So a little bit different garb. I had to put headphones I found in the house because baby Peter is in the pack and play just a few feet away and he's making a lot of background noise. So hopefully you're just hearing my voice. If not, I apologize for the sounds of the Kenyon Woods household in the background. Well, we have an exciting summer coming up here in this church. I'm sorry. I gotta just make sure that I can actually see my notes here so I stay on task as I normally drift away during these meetings. So the 2023 session of the Wisconsin Annual Conference is going to happen this weekend. Lay member to annual conference Wayne Gronke and I are leaving here at the church at like 7:30 on Friday morning. The sessions start at noon and then they wrap up Sunday afternoon with the service of ordination. So we will report back on worship on like the 18th, or not like, but the 18th of June about what happened at annual conference. We continue to welcome any input you have on the workbook of all the different action items. The second workbook that you have access to as lay members is all about the disaffiliations of the 43 churches in this annual conference. And then the third one, which just got emailed out to you all with this link, is for the remaining action items. There's a couple new ones, which are mainly just one more church that's discontinuing, and then to elect new reserve delegates to annual, getting the words wrong, to general and jurisdictional conference, which is, this is the confusing part. It's the 2020 session of those, but since that's been postponed until 2024, we're electing reserve delegates for the 2020 general and jurisdictional conference that's going to meet in 2024. If that doesn't make sense, that's okay. The idea is that if you want to look through the lay members that Wayne has the option of voting for, or the clergy ones that I have the option of voting for, and just give any input on that, what we would like for you to do is go ahead and do that. And then if you want, you can email me, or else just give the phone call or the church phone a ring. You're probably going to leave voicemail because I'm not having any office hours between now and then. And just leave a voicemail. Wayne and I will check it before we leave Friday morning. So this evening, anytime on Thursday, if you can't sleep Friday at 4 a.m., you can read it and then just make sure you get your voicemail in with any input you have on who you would like to have Wayne or I consider to elect as reserve delegates to general and jurisdictional conference that's coming up. Okay, a couple of other things just keep y'all abreast of. So each year we have our church conference, which used to be called the Charge Conference, but it's the annual meeting where we look at the budget for the next year, the nominations of leaders. The district superintendent comes or joins us. Oh no. Okay, I better go help Pete here. You good? Okay, never mind. He's good still. Okay, so back to this. He's at that age now. He just starts making noise and he doesn't really need anything except eye contact. Okay, yeah, he's good. So safe sanctuaries is something that's going to be coming up each year at church conference, charge conference. What that is that's our denomination's way of saying, like, how do we make sure that local churches and organizations have a document in place and a plan in place to make sure that children and youth and vulnerable adults are protected from any sort of abuse, physical, sexual, emotional abuse. Okay, we're still good. So we, to be clear, there's not any sort of incident that's happened at Parkview that requires us to do this. It's rather just in response to the very large Boy Scouts America sexual assault survivors settlement that has led a lot of the insurance companies, including Church Mutual, which is our, we have to go through them according to our denomination. They're requiring this. And then the idea is that every 2 years, the district superintendent will review the safe sanctuaries policy. All that to say, if you have any input on that, I would love to hear it, and ad council I'm sure would like it too. I'll be giving them the latest draft of our safe sanctuaries policy. So they have all of June into the next meeting in July to look at it. And then in July, we'll finalize it. So if you would like a paper copy of that, be sure to let me know. Otherwise, at the end of this report, I'll kind of scroll through it and you can pause the video as you see it. Otherwise, I think I also attached it to the email that you got this in. So if you just want any input on that, I welcome that. But just so you know, that is something that we'll be doing just to stay in line with, best policies for an organization. It's especially important when we welcome children in the community, such as for Vacation Bible School, which is coming up this year on August 14th, a Monday, all the way through Wednesday, the 16th. Okay, I'm going to pause and then come back in a minute. Just checking on Pete again. Okay. Okay, well, we're going to try this again. We got baby Pete here now. Say hi, Peter. Okay, so Vacation Bible School coming up in August. This guy is probably a little too small for it this year. But if you have any kids in your neighborhood, in your family, just people that you know that would like to come, we're going to offer it again this year in the mornings. That works for our volunteers that help, and it's going to be free. So if you have any kid in your life, ages pre-K through and going to 5th grade, go ahead and make sure that they know those dates in mid-August, Monday the 14th through the 16th. The theme this year is going to be the neighborhood of We Believe, which is a play on Mr. Rogers' neighborhood of Make Believe. Pretty cool. So that's going to be coming up here in a couple months, but like with a lot of things, just want to get it on people's radar and definitely invite anyone that you come across who would enjoy that as we welcome the children of this community to our church family. I'll also say too, if you want to be any big disciples out there, any adults want to help out during the Vacation Bible School, that would be great. We have some volunteers, but always looking for more. Let me know if you're able to do that. Sunday the 13th will probably be some set up in the afternoon/evening, and then also there'll be cleanup the afternoon on Wednesday. So that would also be helpful if you don't want to work with kids, but want to help with some of the other behind the scenes stuff. And then I'm thinking we're probably going to try to offer some breakfast snacks and then maybe like a brown bag lunch that the kids can take home with them at the end of the day. We noticed last year that a couple of the students probably weren't getting breakfast before they came and then seemed really excited about having lunch on the 3rd day. So we're just going to assume maybe some kids are coming a little hungry, and why not just offer the ministry of food for them. So some more details on that later as far as what specific needs would be, but it'll probably be like a lot of other events. We'll just ask for, a box of granola bars here, a loaf of bread from someone, and we'll figure that out. But just to put that on your radar too, and we'll circle back to that later in July. Because we got to get through the Turtle Lake Fair first. That's going to probably be our biggest outreach event of the summer, if not maybe the year, especially on the Sunday of the Turtle Lake Fair. You got the United Women in Faith doing pancakes in the park before the parade breakfast from about 8 to 10. We'll have a worship service at 10. We're going to be in the parade, which will be very exciting. I will not be announcing this year. I'll actually be a part of the float, which I'm really excited about. And then right after the parade, we'll come back to the village park and we'll do root beer and hymns. So we're going to be serving root beer. And then at 2 o'clock or so is when the Chambers does their ice cream social. So the idea is that, hey, people are already hanging out, singing, having a good time, drinking root beer. And then you get ice cream, root beer floats. So we're going to have a seamless transition from root beer and hymns to the ice cream social. Right, Pete? Yeah. So anyway, that's all on the Sunday of the Turtle Lake Fair. Like I said, a lot of ways we can reach different people in this community and surrounding area and let them know what we're all about. So if you have not already started signing up for helping out with the various events, we have a couple clipboards. That's mainly for the Friday food stand. But the other thing to know is that if you'd like to help craft the idea of our float, let's meet before worship on the 18th. So this would be at like 9:30. This is Father's Day, I know, so we don't do something after worship. We'll do before. Let's say 9:30. We'll meet kind of in the fireside room, talk through some of the ideas that a couple of you already have had, that I've had, and then the following week after worship, so this would be the 25th of June, we'll put together the float. Jeff and Diane Hoffman have volunteered graciously to let us use their trailer and then the John Deere Gator to tow it. So we got the trailer all set up, but let's get all of our ideas kind of finalized on the 18th before worship. And then we'll give ourselves a week to kind of get all the materials, delegate who does that, and then put it all together 2 weeks early, which would be really good. Good for us to have that. Okay, making sure I stick with my notes. The final note I had was just make sure to check out the summer edition of the Parkview Epistle. There's paper copies at church. You should have an email copy included. I'll probably link it in this email that you got to see this video. And then it's on the website too. So I wanted to then show just a couple of highlights since you made it through the pastor's report. Yeah, good job, Pete. So I appreciate you sticking with me and Peter on that. Now I have to just awkwardly try to make my screen share. So bear with us. See, it's not that hard because there's a baby here you can look at. Okay. I haven't done this in a while. Okay. Screen share. All right, we're getting it, Peter. Do Google Chrome. So these are just some visuals for you that you probably want to know about. One is, sorry, I thought that would go a lot quicker. Okay, and then we're going to say view show. Yeah, I don't remember how to do this. Here we go. Hopefully you've seen this graphic on Facebook around the church too, but it's kind of our Summer of Faith with Parkview and all the different events coming up. So as I record this on Wednesday, you all have coming up on Sunday, the Oh Susanna performance when Wayne or I are in Green Bay. It's going to be very exciting. I'm sure it's going to go great. The Koinonia Singers come on, note the date change, Monday the 19th of June. Got the dates wrong initially, but that's fine. We got it figured out. We are serving them dinner before and then ice cream afterwards. Thank you for all who have signed up to help already with that. Thank you to Lake Country Pizza, Tony and Joe, for donating the pizza for the group. And it's going to be hopefully great weather too, like it was last year. Turtle Lake Fair, of course, I just put Sunday the 9th because that's our big day as a church. But of course, behind the scenes, we'll be working on Friday at the food stand, Vacation Bible School at the end of August, and then Jesus and Me in Sunday School start up again in the fall. So if you haven't already seen this graphic and shared it, especially on Facebook, I encourage you to go to our Facebook page and then click share. So it goes to your personal page and reaches hundreds of more people each time that one of you shares it, which is very exciting. I don't know, it is exciting. Okay, the next graphic. This is our official graphic for VBS, Vacation Bible School, the neighborhood of We Believe. And as you can see, the dates are on the bottom. I made this. I thought that was pretty cool. This is something that I made with the help of our very talented Barb Fuller from Barb's Custom Imprints, and from Sue Hodgson, one of our new church members, who got us the grant through Thrivent Foundation or Thrivent Financial to help pay for community impact. So we're going to get 125 of these kind of sturdy plastic cups with our original logo, Root Beer and Hymns, to hand out so people know about us, remember how much fun they had, that it had it with people called Methodists from Parkview. It's going to be a great thing that we can hand out at that event. And then with that grant money, we also can get root beer, which is good, as well as, Pete, what was the other amount of money for? Do you remember? Oh, for the songbooks. So we can have nice color copies of the songbooks. The idea is that making a list of the 125 most popular hymns over the last, most popular hymns over the last 125 years, because Turtle Lake is celebrating its 125th year birthday or anniversary. So we're going to stick with that theme. Anyway, so these are going to look great. Great job, Barb, for designing that. And then thank you, Sue, for making sure that we had the money for that. Some highlights from the last month since our last pastor's report. Traveled to Stevens Point a week ago for clergy session, which is the annual gathering of all the clergy in the Wisconsin Conference. We have to do some kind of procedural votes, but also we get to gather when it's safe to, like it is now in 2023, to clap for the retirees who are retiring, to celebrate the new provisional members, and then the folks who are going to get ordained at annual conference. We get to have worship and sing, and the bishop preaches, and it's really a nice time. This year is also really helpful because there's a number of clergy. I think it was 11 licensed local pastors and 15 active or retired elders who are leaving the UMC and joining the Global Methodist Church. So it's really nice to be able to see a lot of those folks again and kind of send them off with prayer and um, just be very cordial in that that side of disaffiliation too. It was nice to be able to do that in person versus just on Zoom or something. Other highlights, DS Barb, District Superintendent Barb, who's right in the middle there. She gave her kind of farewell speech at her party at Rice Lake back in sometime in May. It's fun to get to see some of the other district clergy, some retired folks, and just thank her for all of her service as our district superintendent as she goes on to be the assistant to the bishop, and we get a new district superintendent starting July 1st. The night before that was graduation, so got to celebrate with the, I think, 28 Turtle Lake graduates, including Mason Quaddy and Paige Davis, who, well, they're in there. I can't remember exactly where they are. I think Paige was over here and Mason was on this side. Anyway, and then afterwards, I found Michaela Lopez out in the mix of everyone who was celebrating with the graduates. And of course, she came up because for the first couple years of high school, she was here until she went down to Black River Falls to live with the Weiss family following Tracy's death. So it was really nice to see Michaela again and to see her back with a lot of her friends and a part of this community that has been so integral to her as well. So it was just fun to celebrate with all these graduates. Couple days before that was Mike Brubaker. He's the current pastor up at Cumberland, his retirement party. He's reached mandatory retirement age. That doesn't mean he'll never be in a church or a pulpit again. It just means that once you reach that age, you have to get appointed in retirement. And traditionally, you go to a different church than the one you're at. But Mike's going to take some time off, I guess, travel with his wife and grandkids, and then maybe be open to a new appointment in a couple months or a year. So anyway, we have Jung from Barron, and we have Chris from Chautauqua. Those are the four of us, or the circuit clergy for our circuit. And then, you know, Pete, he's just kind of hanging out. He's always welcome at these things nowadays. And then finally, Peter got baptized. As I kind of made mention in church, even before we knew Peter was going to be born, Lori said, I call it. He's going to get baptized at my church and baptized by me. And a big reason for that was Lori, as a young person, was actually baptized by her father. So she wanted to kind of keep that tradition going. And it made sense for her to get to do that at her own church that she's a pastor of. So there she is, right in the middle, baptizing our baby. My job was to hold him, and I did a great job. Let's see, we got Lori's folks, some my in-laws. Pete was very happy to see them. These are my parents and sister, as all of you have probably seen them. I guarantee he was still happy to see them, but his face, I guess he was tired of pictures at that time. And then they gave us a really nice cake at Balsam Church, and Pete really liked that, even though he hasn't had cake yet. That's his first birthday that he gets that. I think that's all my highlights. Yeah, this is just kind of a working thing of some of the hymns that we're going to pick for the last 125 years, most popular ones, going back to This Is My Father's World, The Old Rugged Cross. Apparently I got My Father's World twice. Anyway, so just starting to work on that document and get ready for root beer and hymns. With that, thank you for sticking with me. Sorry for the interruption with Pete, but it's going to be a great summer. It already has been a great year, and some days feels like summer. So may God continue to guide us and bless us with fellowship, faith, and grace.